this is a really great question from Paul over on YouTube. Says, what classes in D4 are you lads fancying on trying on your first go? Do you have a historical favorite, given that the classes are the same as D2? And I remember when they announced Destiny 2, you were like, no, that's not D2. There is a true and one and only D2. That would be Diablo 2 in this case. So I think I'm going to toss that question to you first, Chris. Like, stepping into D4, what's your preference on class?
I mean, you're welcome to farm up gear on whatever you want, but the correct answer is sorceress. So, like, it's really straightforward. The single best first one is always sorceress. So that would be my go-to in any Diablo game. In any Diablo game, I step one out of the gate. If we're basing it on kind of the traditional classes, when they start messing with it, like, my favorite from a like character identity fantasy standpoint is anytime there's a shapeshifter. That's just my favorite, like, to play.
Yeah.
But Diablo, it just, like, meth runs. Once you've lost several hundred hours to meth runs, you just realize, like, sorceress is the go-to. Like, you have to start there, and then you can build out. I don't know.
So my answer is I'm going Druid. I'm hands down going Druid, but I love Barbarian. And having played the Druid, I played all of the classes that were available when we were out at BlizzCon. I am absolutely, like, the animations that they put into Druid. Good. It was like into that early alpha. I cannot wait to see how that's evolved. But the classes they've offered, like we said, Sorceress, Necromancer being included. I think this is going to be a powerful lineup. The only thing that I felt like I like to see, because I really enjoyed the Wizard, but Sorceress is obviously going to play kind of that magic role. I feel like D4 is the best class offering, obviously, a little bias coming from D2, but is the best class offering, because D3, I was like, there's a couple classes in there that I wasn't really kind of my cup of tea. I don't think there is a class that they have here that isn't something that I'm excited to jump into and play. So at its core, there's, I think, going to be an interesting case study that is going to be happening right now with Diablo 4. Namely, it's a lot of changes, and you're coming off of all these changes, as well as the bad taste in people's mouth about the Diablo Immortal, right? So you have that aspect. You have the new seasonal model. Diablo has had seasons, which has trained a huge population in that. That is changing. We're going battle pass. We're doing these things now. And I think essentially it's going to be interesting to see if this is a positive change or a negative change. I can't even begin to predict, because I think initially it's going to have a negative reaction. And then if the gameplay is good, then I think overall it will kind of settle into finding its own community over the period of time. But Chris, are you, like, where do you fall right now with all the news that we've been given on D4? How do you feel about it going into its launch? Are you a pre-order guy? Are you going to play this weekend, or are you going to wait till the open beta next weekend?
I'll wait till the open beta, just because, like, that's where budget is right now. Like, the entire world feels like they've just asked you to tighten your belt, like, as groceries get more expensive, as and like, as like, I bought Call of Duty in October and they wanted like $75 for it, and it just feels like everything wants a subscription now. So it's purely a fiscal decision. I don't think I'm alone in that, and so, like, the entire world just feels like, okay, your income's gone up 2%, and every other expense in life's gone up 35%.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
So
everybody, like, oh, anti-raise. It's like,
yeah, my two friends that I know make the most. I don't know the exact number, but they make the most. Like, when they mention budget squeeze in group text chains, part of me is like, sure, because, like, I know how much more than me they make, but the rest of me is like, if they can feel it, then this must just be a unanimous, like, people don't want to talk about it, but, like, budget fatigue is real. So, like,
well, and so it's the
beta.
subscription fatigue, yeah.
I don't want to buy a game that's not going to be good, and so knowing there's going to be an open beta,
yeah,
that's, like, if you know, okay, I can only afford to buy so many games in the next, like, the fact that there's going to be an open beta, I think, is really good.
Yes, agreed.
Now, is the open beta true open, or is that the one that's tied to I have to go buy a chicken sandwich that doesn't have a bun?
I believe it's true open. Open beta begins March 24th at 9 a.m.
Buy a
PDT.
double chicken sandwich without a bun, which they market as they swapped the bun for chicken, but that's not true because then there would still be a piece of chicken in the middle. So it is one piece of chicken short of being a chicken sandwich with chicken for the bun. Just mathematically, it's a double chicken sandwich, no bun. I don't know why they market it, and they market it that way, and people say it's gross. And it's like, a double hamburger hold the bun is not considered weird, but a double chicken sandwich hold the bun, be like, that's disgusting.
Oh man, I only had, the only thought I had was a story about my dad, and I'm not going to share it here with you publicly because I would hate for him to be embarrassed. He always asks me if I'm telling jokes about him at the comedy club, and I say no. I'll wait till you're dead, and then I'll make jokes about you, but not while you're living. No sir, I don't want that to ever like roll downhill.